Hello guys, how are you? Today I'll just talk to you about how responsibility can make you happy or deprive your happiness away. So I do continue the progress. I conducted a simple research or analysis. I tried to watch some videos and read some books and articles. So I came up to realize lack of responsibility is one among the things that can make people unhappy. And the result of irresponsibility makes people ending up in some psychosis diseases such as schizophrenia, platonic schizophrenia, sociopath, and the sort of all the diseases, schizophrenic, sociopath, DHD, DHD, all the diseases about the brain. If you are not responsible, it is easy for you to be caught in certain diseases, brain diseases, that will lead you to becoming addicted. Okay, this happens when, for example, a certain lady who could not go out without the escort, whether if it is a parent, a spouse, a partner, or anyone who is assigned to support that woman at that day. So she's working, uptown there, but she cannot leave, she cannot go to the office unless otherwise she is escorted by a member of the family. So she has become used to that, and that is part of her thinking. When she's not escorted, say in a week, she develops thoughts that life is so tough, and the alternatives may be to punish herself or to torture herself. So she ending up into the mental hospital, where she needs to be counseled. So I've come to discover in different, scenario, in different part of our life, people at each point of life, at each point of our growth, we have to face some element of responsibility in your life. In those elements of responsibility, if you try to skip one element and jump into another element, you may encounter some challenges. Responsibility comes from different angles. Aging is part of responsibility that you have to bear, accept, and find the lifestyle to go about it. It is a struggle so many aged people are facing. Let me give you an example. At the age of 40, say 35 to 40, 40 to 45, that kind of group, is facing a lot of people who are responsible. How are they responsible? They do not accept that they don't want to be responsible with their age, because responsibility comes when you have to act differently, because you're aged, you're adult. So some younger brothers and sisters, they will look at you as somebody who is aged, and you don't want to be perceived that way. So you try to create some ways to avoid that point of fact that you are aged. I'm talking about those categories that I've been mentioning, 35 to 40, 40 to 45. Trying to avoid the responsibility that you are aged, you may start to act weird and do some of the things which are not relevant with the society, with your mind, with your personality and character too. Because some are trying various options. For example, you may find an aged person trying to behave like a child. Those are style somebody may try to behave in a certain way to fit the escaping of responsibility. It is too bad. So upon trying to find a way to escape the responsibility, people start to be unhappy because, the fact is, Michael, you are a grown-up person. People and Mother Nature is looking you that way. But within yourself, you are trying not to accept the reality. You create the conflict of the perception. So you become unhappy because each time when you take air in and out, your heart tells you that, Michael, you're not that way. The world tells you that you're that way. So you start to develop internal conflicts, and later on you become unhappy. So you have to be responsible. You have to accept the responsibility and try to look at the fact at the way it is. I have a friend who is who has retired from University of Dar es Salaam. He was a senior lecturer, instructor. He has a PhD education. He's specialized in psychology and philosophy. Well, his performance was marvelous during his secondary education. He had a scholarship to the United States, and he came back and he was employed by University of Dar es Salaam. Few days ago, I met with him at the cafeteria. I was just having the breakfast, so we are friends. So he came nearby. So we shared the table, and recently, when he comes near, you may end up talking without him taking anything, like a hot tea or a snack. So knowing that when he comes around, I ordered some, snack and also tea for him. So we are having a tea, that's normal. That's my courtesy. But he was nervous. And despite being retired for it's almost 30 years now, he kept roaming in university compound without the specific purpose or task. So he moved from that point to that point, from that cafeteria to that cafeteria, because he no longer has the office. He no longer in the database. So he's like normal person who, has, he's not recognized by university by then because you're already retired. So you can't even use the classes and teach people because you have to follow the protocol and rules and regulation of the Satan, of the authority. So I looked at him, and when we meet, we often talk about psychology. I tell him about what I think. He always likes my argument because I argue from the street point of view. I didn't go psychology or philosophy during my education, but what I share is so interesting. So he likes to hear my views, logic, and point of view. But I tried to ask him a question like, "Doctor, you seem to be nervous. What's going on with your life?" Well, at first he was trying to, restrain. He was trying to escape. But later on, he said, "Okay, Michael, I'm retired. And I regret, guys, I speak this from the deepest part of my heart. I don't try to exaggerate anything. That is what he taught me. Okay, here I come. Michael, I am retired. I have a lot of regret in my heart." I was like, "Why, doctor?" He told me, "For those years, I've never showed the world my talent and who am I? Look now, I'm degrading." And they said, well, he has a solution. He wants to open a school of thought and try to solve or and try to enlighten the youth and all people of different kind to have the conscious mind to understand life and view life in different perspectives. Well, I didn't judge what he has to do. I didn't judge what he wants to do, as life is adventure and age is just a number, and anyone can bring anything to existence and become the best, like McDonald, who who innovated the chicken flies, when he was about 60 years old. But what I learned from him at the point when we were talking is the lack of responsibility. If he were employed and he was receiving salary, he could provide for himself and family. Now, he is still responsible despite the fact that he's retired. So, he tries to avoid responsibility because if you are retired, you have to be responsible with what comes ahead. Are you going to do agriculture? Are you going to establish a school? Are you going to do a business? Did you invest? So, roaming about nearby the office that nearby the office that you've been working, to me, shows some element of irresponsibility, because you want them to bring you back to the office so that you can be paid while your time is already gone. So that element of feeling irresponsible, you try to force to stabilize yourself in some things, say easy things, things which do not, need your pain, need your sweat, need your energy. It's like you beg to be given overtime works at the varsity. Unlucky, unlucky enough, when trying to avoid responsibility, you somehow become dirty. You smell bad. You want to talk with anyone. My friend, the instructor, whomever he meets around, he may start to want to have conversation until when you say, hey, doctor, I have to find a venue. I just want to do some works. So I'm sorry, thank you for the time we had. So you become irresponsible. You wake up early in the morning, you go to the varsity, you go to the campus. Okay. You start roaming about, trying to share with people your thoughts, but that's not the special place you have to be currently, because they have already retired you. They don't want to see you there. And if they wanted to see you, they'd have called you, or they'd have written you a letter, which is official, that, hey, Mr. So-and-so, please come to the campus. The administration want to talk to you. We want to give you additional contract, which is not that way. So what I really want to share with this video today is, first, people have to look out for the responsibility. I think the first thing to be happy, you have to identify your responsibility. Who are you? What are you? Where do you come from? Where do you want to be? Where do you go? What you have to do to make your legacy and create your life. Irresponsibility makes people to develop a trait of self-defense mechanism in a stupid way. You feel like going to help, you feel like working with, say, construction people as an assistant is a shame. Trying to avoid your responsibility. So you keep on looking for easy jobs, which can even pay you less. But you want to wake up early in the morning, dress well, and go spend time in the office, which doesn't value, which pay you less, and which do not develop your career. But because you are irresponsible, so you think trying to hibernate in a certain chamber is good, because you want to win people perception, you want to win people interest, you want to try to fit in. Because if you're responsible, when you wake up early in the morning, you can do any work. If you're responsible, you don't think that you're better than other people. You put yourself down, and you're responsible to do what it has to be done to make your life. You don't have a bus fare, so you have to work by feet from one point to another, from your town to another town to look for a job. But because you don't have a bus fare, you don't want to walk by feet. You feel shy. You are irresponsible with the reality. Yeah. You have to be responsible with the reality. You have to walk by feet. You are about 45 years old, but you are trying to force the reality that you are not 45 years old. I don't interfere with your lifestyle. I don't enforce you to live like an old person. No. But I'm trying to let you know that you have to standardize and analyze your thought about what is simply the reality and what you have to adapt instead of fighting the reality and creating the element of happiness in your mind. Okay. 45 years old, you are dating girls who are underage. Why? What are you trying to prove to the society? Okay. You are 45 years old, but when you take a selfie, you pose like trying to create the element of being young. Yes, if you think you're old, you are. And I don't think if that can make you to act weird or irrelevantly, just trying to show people that you are underage. So I came to realize most of Titanic, schizophrenia, psychosis, DHD, hallucination, diseases, psychopath, somehow, somewhere, they are due to lack of responsibility. Lacking the true nature and definition of you as a human being. Hiding into something, hiding too much, resulting into those diseases, which along the line is the result of unhappy. Okay. You know, it's very funny. You're trying to have marriage. Thereafter, you find yourself so responsible with that marriage because you give birth to children, you develop family. Say you have 3 children. The children and the woman turn to you, look at you as the father, head of the family. They want to see how responsible are you. But you start to create some drama, like you may leave home for a week, and it's not like you are distant away, but you don't just want to meet your people, the things that you have created. Trying to avoid responsibility in some stupid way. You feel safe, you feel relieved, you feel good when you are away from your family. Trying to avoid responsibility, because being a father, you have to provide, you have to care, you have to love, you have to teach, you have to be submissive, that every day, complain, challenges, but you don't want to face them because you are responsible. Okay, that's not okay. Sit down and find a way to cope with that so that you can be happy. You anyway, there are a lot of things that makes people responsible, and people are trying to step away from them, ending up behaving in ways which do not fit, ending up being unhappy. So the best way is, I am responsible with my life. I have to bear pain. I have to work hard. I have to fail. I have to pass. I have to be rejected. I have to be criticized. People have to laugh on me. I have to go that way. I have to walk by feet. I have to stay hungry. I have to be disrespected sometimes. I am responsible for my life. And I have to face all the things. If there is a way I can beat all the challenge, is perhaps if I work hard and become successful, and how people will appreciate me. Unless otherwise, there's no way. Is to stand on your line and fight as a man. But if you start to feel shy, you start to become irresponsible. So if you feel shy, what's the option? You don't have to get out of your room. So you stay hibernated there. One point to become psychopath. You stay indoor all the time because you feel shy. You don't want people to laugh at you. You don't want to be criticized. You don't want people to point fingers at you. You fear that people will criticize you, so you don't talk. Perhaps you don't want to meet people. Because responsibility is what you have in your skin. You cannot remove it, rather clean it and change how people perceive it from different point of view. Your clothes are, torn out, they're old. So you feel like you're valueless. You don't wanna go somewhere. You don't wanna live in certain way because you fear when people look at you, they'll think you are nothing. So trying to avoid the responsibility of being looked poor, which way do you find to tackle that? So please, people have to be responsible. People have to work hard. Consulting people, sometimes you don't have to sleep at night. It is not like it is a torture. No, I have to work. I have to stay awake all the time because I have to work and meet so many people targets so that they can pay me and see the value of the work. Me being awake all the night, it is none of their business. It is my responsibility. Within understanding your responsibility, bearing your pain, and work day after day, through sweat, crying, laughing, being rejected, you develop a certain value that the world will appreciate you, and you'll eat the word cake. So people have to be responsible. Please be responsible. Please finish what you start. Be you and bear the things that you have to bear to live and be successful. Thank you.